Alright, hey everybody, this is Nash here, and today I got another Texas video for y'all today. Well, it's kind of Texas. It's Texas themed, but it's also on Casey Thompson. Now, we are not trashing the player, purely talking about stats, nothing other than stats. Stats. Specifically the fourth quarter stats. Now, I did the Casey Thompson video yesterday. Put it out, every play video. I won't be doing that every week. I'm not some salty fan that's just following Casey Thompson. I was bored. We don't have Texas football for another week, so I was like, why not, Plus, also get to see how Casey Thompson did with that, and also just look at just Casey Thompson, not the rest of the team. See how he did away from Texas, and see if he did better, or if he did worse, or the same. And the answer, you probably already know that one. As always, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below what you thought of Casey Thompson's first performance away from Texas, as well as how you think Texas will do without Casey Thompson moving forward. Alright, let's get into the video. Now, I just said it a minute ago, but watching that 2021 meltdown of Texas week in and week out, it left a bad feeling. Nebraska game versus Northwestern gave me that same just bad feeling. I was like, man. And I just kept thinking to myself, I'm like, we're at like 13 minutes in the third quarter, 9 minutes in the third quarter. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way that 28 points is all they score. But, I mean, you know it because you've seen the end of the game. And it happens if you go watch the Oklahoma game, the Oklahoma ever played, just watch it. You just like, even still, to this day, you know Oklahoma wins. You watch the video, you're like, there's no way. There's no way. There's no chance. No shot. Well, there's a shot. Now, I want to reiterate, and I said we're not going to trash Casey Thompson at all. I mean, there were moments where Casey Thompson looked really good early on, especially early on. But his fourth quarter was similar, and let's look at those fourth quarter stats. Splits, and if you narrow it down to the games that we melted down in, and they're all pretty similar, but if you just look at the games that we melted down in, those games are Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Baylor, and Kansas. And when I say so, I don't have Iowa State in there. Casey Thompson was not playing quarterback in the fourth quarter versus Iowa State, so he's not in this. Now, Iowa State's not in this. So the fourth quarter splits in these games. You have 15 total drives. Now, a little side note on that. 2 of those drives did start in the third quarter, but they leaked into the fourth quarter. I'm counting those. 5 of those drives resulted in punts. 4 of those drives resulted in a turnover on downs. 3 of those drives resulted in TDs scored. 2 of those touchdowns were against Kansas, and 2 interceptions total in these 15 drives. Now, the total drives resulting in a change of possession was 11 out of 15, 73.33%. And, I mean, you look at the punt drives, like Oklahoma, OU, punt, 3 plays, negative 3 yards, 1 minute, 19 seconds. Punt, 3 plays, negative 8 yards, 1 minute, 8 seconds. Now, that was right after the thumb injury. And if there was ever a time that you are going to say a thumb injury was affecting the guy, that's your time. But, so going into these drives, again, punt, Oklahoma State, punt, 3 plays. I mean, Oklahoma State, this was bad. He literally only ran 11 plays in the fourth quarter. A total of 4 minutes and 49 seconds in possession. We possessed the ball for under 33% of the time in the fourth quarter of that game. I mean, now, people, they talk about the defense, and they're like, man, they're always out of shape, not conditioned right, all that stuff. Well, where do you expect, like Oklahoma State specifically, okay? Here's the defense. They go through a long drive trying to stop the run, okay? And having trouble. We get off the field. 5 minutes, you're back on the field because there's a punt. Okay. 5 minutes again, back on the field, punt. Same thing, rinse and repeat. I mean, that affects their rest and recuperation. It also affects the ability to make adjustments mid-game. You're having less time to explain things and go in depth on things. Every single drive in that game had a turnover or a punt. And I'm going to consider turnovers, because that is a change of possession. You're changing, the other team gets the ball without you scoring. And like I said, in the total of all those games, 11 out of 15 drives resulted in a change of possession. But if you go to Casey Thompson's stats also, in games of Oklahoma, OSU, Baylor, Kansas, West Virginia, Kansas State, his total in all these games, 26 for 52. It is a dead-on 50%. 4 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. I mean, in the fourth quarter, for whatever reason, Casey Thompson has just not been a really plus quarterback. Or even, if you were to go look at the stats, he's probably dead average. Now, you look at his stats from the Nebraska game that just happened. He had 4 completions, 9 out of 9 attempts. 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Yes, there were some drops that should have been caught. And throughout the game, there were a few drops throughout the game. I mean, that like got up to like the 6 to 8 category. So his completion percentage overall should have been higher. And I mean, a lot of those throws were just, quite frankly, should have been caught. But not going to sit here and harp on Casey Thompson. I wish him all the success in the world. Want him and Marcus Washington to do good. Big Marcus Washington fan. Now, the real question is, can this change with Quinn Ewers at quarterback? Because Quinn Ewers at this point has been named the starting quarterback for the Texas Longhorns. And can he provide a different fourth quarter experience, let's call it that, than we got with Casey Thompson? And this kind of reminds me back to when Sam Ehlinger took over for Shane Buechele. And I'm not saying that Quinn Ewers is going to either do one or the other. I'm actually kind of just really curious. I have no call on this. I don't even know. I hope that Quinn Ewers is a better fourth quarter quarterback than Casey Thompson was. And we're not going to find out about this until about like weeks 5 through 6. Or not weeks 5 through 6, about like week 5 or 6. I mean, the stretch that we're going to find this out on is Oklahoma, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, and then Baylor at the end of the year. Those are the games that we're going to find out. Is this team the same team that played in 2021? Or does the change in quarterback affect the team? Look back at when Sam Ehlinger took over for Shane Buechele. I mean, I'll admit, I was a big Team Buechele guy. Team Boo. Hashtag Team Boo. No. But when you looked at the team, I mean, the team was just so pumped up. You could visibly see a difference in not only the offense but the defense as well. Everybody was just playing with more juice. It was more alive. Everything, and that is what coaches mean when they say, like, sometimes, hey, yeah, yes, I'm making the decision, but sometimes the team's going to play harder for one guy than they do the other. Now, I will say, Shane Buechele and Sam Ehlinger are both balling out right now in the preseason. Love to see it. But, again, if you like the video, like it. Comment down below what you think about Quinn Ewers, if he's going to give us a better fourth quarter experience than Casey Thompson gave us. And, yeah, that's going to be it for the video. But I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. This Texas season is close. We now have no Saturdays left until Texas' first game against Louisiana Monroe. I can't wait. I'll be in the stands. Let's go. Hook 'em.